Welcome to Email After Hours by Senderscore, powered by Validity.
We're your hosts. My name is Guy Hansen.
And I'm Danielle Gallant, and this is Email After Hours.
We're trying something a little different today. While we know our listeners love hearing our musings on all things email, we also know that 30 plus minutes is a decent chunk of time. And hey, we're all busy, so we're going to experiment with some shorter episodes that we'll sprinkle between the longer ones. Danielle, you want to give our listeners an overview of the kind of stuff we're going to be hearing from us?
Definitely. These are going to be exciting ones. We're coming to you with the hot goss. There's always something happening in email marketing. There's always some new news, so we're going to give you some of that. And then also, Guy and I are going to take you on a tour of our own mailboxes. We're going to show you what's happening there and tell you what we love, but we maybe love a little bit less. So let's get into it, Guy.
I love the sound of a bit of juicy hot gossip, hot email
Should
gossip.
we start with that?
Yeah, what you got for us?
Okay, so kind of breaking news. For those who maybe aren't in the know, I'm going to give you a very brief Reader's Digest version of the history of Gmail Postmaster Tools. Gmail Postmaster Tools has been around for a long time. It's essentially Gmail's way of communicating with senders on what their reputation looks like, subscriber feedback on their email program. And about a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago, they rolled out a V2 of Gmail Postmaster Tools called the Compliance Dashboard. There were some threats that they were going to completely depreciate version 1 of this Gmail Postmaster Tools, which had the color-coded IP and domain reputation system, which does not exist in the new version. But it stays. It's still living. That said, they are consistently making updates to version 2, the compliance dashboard. And one of those updates rolled out just within the last week of this recording. Right at the bottom of the compliance dashboard, senders will now see something called a deliverability analysis, where Gmail is essentially providing plain language feedback on a sender's metrics, anything from spam complaint rates to your overall volume to your compliance with their sender requirements. There's actually quite a number. I think there's like 6 or 7 different feedback points that they're giving. Now, admittedly, when I first took a look at this, I thought this is not very useful. Deliverability analysis. People don't like your messages. They're marking it as spam or whatever, right? Something pretty simple. However, I have to eat my words because after walking through this development with some of the clients that I work with, they really find this impactful because it's one thing, Guy, for you and I as deliverability consultants to say, you have spam complaint issue, you need to reduce your frequency or look at your segmentation or something like that, right? But it really feels like it's another thing for Gmail to give you that direct feedback.
I'm just gobsmacked about the idea of Gmail doing something in plain, understandable layman's English.
I know, right? Who'd have thought it? But this is the update. So everybody go take a look at your compliance dashboard for all of it's per subdomain or however your domains are set up, and see what Gmail is telling you in your deliverability analysis section. And we don't doubt that this is going to be tweaked and iterated on as it always is. So probably more statuses to come. How does that line up with your breaking news, Guy?
I think we're sort of aiming in a similar direction. Mine's slightly more long term, and a very interesting announcement that came out of the IETF recently. So they're the Internet Engineering Task Force. They're the folk that come up with protocols like DMARC, for example. And it's only at a very early discussion stage, but they're thinking about a new standard, which would see the mailbox providers, Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, all the others, provide inbox placement and subscriber engagement data directly to all senders in exactly the same way that you get your DMARC reporting, for example. And so you get access to inbox placement data, which tabs you went to, opens, clicks, forward replies, all those good metrics that we talk about. And it could be a bit of a game changer if you think about it, because I mean, at the moment, even companies like ours, we're helping, senders to estimate or come up with a proxy for, how their sending reputation is seen by the Gmails and the Outlooks of the world who actually have their own calculations to determine reputation. But, this would make it very clear. It would literally be black and white. This is how you are dropping onto our platform. Faster diagnosis, less guesswork. I think it would massively reshape in years to come, the need for reputation monitoring and, some of the tactics that go hand in hand with that. So we're not there. As I say, it's just a discussion document at this stage, but it's an interesting one. And you could see there might be a lot of demand for it, don't you think?
I think there's going to be a lot of demand for it, but in my mind, I'm thinking the same conversations will probably continue, right? When people see actual tab placement per, Gmail or Yahoo or whoever, the gamification, the how do
Oh
we get
yeah,
to
no, it's
primary?
still going to be okay. Now you've proven that all my emails are dropping into the promotions tab. Hey, why aren't they going to primary?
Also, welcoming for the first time on the podcast, I think that acronym, the IETF, that is maybe a brand new acronym. I don't know if we've mentioned that before. So
I don't
welcome.
believe we have used it before. We gave Mucow an outing last time. IETF, and Internet Engineering Task Force. You heard it here first. Not.
Let us take you all listeners in a little bit of a different direction.
I'm intrigued. I'm scared to think what your inbox looks like.
You should be. But I think that yours is probably a little bit scarier. So, we're going to talk about a couple of things that are intriguing us within our own mailboxes. That might be a specific brand or email or a message type or even annotations, whatever comes whenever we're recording one of these episodes. And I'm hesitant to start with something that something that I don't like.
Oh yeah, well those are the best ones.
I'm always inclined to do a positive spin, but I'm going to pick on a brand for this first, host only kind of mini breaking news inbox episodes. Air Canada. I am not going to listeners, just in case you don't know, I'm based in Toronto, so this is like maybe a bit of a local gripe. um, but I swear that I am not picking on Air Canada, despite the fact that I was delayed by about 10 hours for a 50-minute flight just a week and a half ago. You know what? Maybe this is not me picking on Air Canada. Maybe this is me giving Air Canada some very strategic, free consulting on this
Yeah, because
episode.
feedback is a gift, right?
Feedback is a gift, and this is only going to improve whatever you've got going on. Two things. One, we need to talk about, Guy, you've talked about some really excellent travel company personalization on our past webinars where you've booked a flight ticket to a certain city and then you get these wonderful curated emails about follow-up emails about amazing things to do in that city. Tell us about your experience, really relevant sequenced messaging. Air Canada is not doing any of this personalization. I will book a ticket, my flight will be horribly delayed, and within 24 hours I'm getting tickets to Europe, tickets to New York, tickets to this place. And it's just promote, promote, promote. There's really no opportunity to seek feedback, seek preferences. So that's number one. But the much bigger problem, I tried to opt out. I got a little bit annoyed with the lack of personalization, with the lack of awareness, really, about the customer experience. And so I tried to opt out. Despite right now, legally in Canada, I think we're on the same legal mandate as the US with can spam with Castle, where we have 10 days legally to remove a subscriber from future mailings after they unsubscribe. But Guy, I
That's
think we're
still a
over.
long time.
That's a long
Yeah,
time. 10 days could mean 50 emails from a brand, right? It's a lot of time to potentially annoy your subscriber. However, Gmail and Yahoo kind of superseded that legal mandate and have since 2024 have been requiring 48 hours absolute maximum. It should be immediate. Right, Guy? We're on the same page there. This should
no
be
excuse for it not to be.
no excuse, especially if you're using a major ESV
Mm.
or CRM tool, which I did the legwork and did a reverse lookup on Air Canada's IP. So I know that they are using a major email service provider for their messaging. I am not being opted out. Hey, Air Canada, it's been definitely more than 48 hours and I'm still getting messages. So your one click list unsubscribe mechanism is not functioning the way that you think it is. So that is my PSA. Dear Air Canada, please check your RFC 80581 click list unsubscribe because you are probably driving people crazy and you are probably getting backlogged in the spam folder. And that is my inbox piece
Wow.
of
Get your
suicide.
act together, Air Canada.
What about you, Guy? What's going on?
I need to frame my talking point for today, and I'm going to ask you a question, which is, did you know, Danielle, that I actually have two birthdays?
No. Why?
Well, it's kind of like the King of England, really. I have my real birthday, but also, like you, sign up for a ton of email programs, and a lot of them ask you for your date of birth. So I have an email date of birth, which is the same one that I give to all of them. And I'm not going to tell everyone exactly when it is, but fairly recently I had my email birthday and I got a ton of birthday emails, which I was quite pleased about. So, I was just sort of looking through them and thinking, I wonder what there is to learn about what email programs do when they're given a date of birth as a piece of personal data. So, you want to hear some observations?
Yes, please.
Well, there's some distinct categorizations. There's one where you effectively get nothing. It's basically just, hey, happy birthday. I guess the sender thinks it's enough that it's the thought that counts. But what's really interesting is that those sort of you get nothing happy birthday emails often seem to come from the sort of more premium senders. I'm thinking of like Moet Champagne. And in fact, they almost like take it one step further. Hey, happy birthday. Maybe you should buy some more Moet Champagne to celebrate your birthday, kind of thing. That's their approach. Vast majority, it's a birthday discount. And that's great. I think, we know, especially in retail, margins are wafer thin. You've only got a few percentage points to play with, but you can still do it well. You can still do it in a way that, makes someone feel special that it is their birthday rather than it's just, hey, here's the same discount we were going to give you anyway on any other day kind of thing. What's really interesting is that a lot of the restaurants will do that, but instead of sort of giving an explicit discount, they'll give you a free dessert, for example. And I really ended up wormholing on this and actually went and looked at their online menus to see what the value of like an average main is versus the average price of a dessert to see, what it's worth. And tip for free, anyone that can eat at an Olive Garden, it basically translates to about a 40% discount because that's the ratio of average dessert to average main. So there you go. Some of the tactics. A lot of senders go for like a single email on the day. That's nice. Some of them go with sequences. So you might get an email in advance sort of saying, hey, we know your birthday's coming up. Here's our gift to you, and you've got like 30 days to redeem it, and then a reminder after the birthday to make sure you don't lose out on it, which is a nice tactic, exactly the same principle as a welcome series. Enough of the sort of boring stuff. I mean, you've given Air Canada their comeuppance today, so you want to hear about some winners and losers on the birthday
I
front?
would love to. I can't wait.
So for me, the big winner was Burger King, the undoubted winner. Basically, just enjoy a free birthday Whopper offer. No minimum spend, no conditions, just, hey, pop into one of our outlets on your big day and you get a free burger to enjoy on your special day. And I thought
An
that will
actual gift. Who'd have thunk it?
absolutely. So I thought kudos to Burger King. That's a great birthday present. If I was going to pick on anyone for, could have done better, it was the birthday email I got from Tommy Hilfiger. And only because, they offered me a Tommy Hilfiger discount for my birthday, 15%. And maybe it was just unfortunate because of the way they set up the various blocks of content in their email, that was immediately above 40% off for a winter promotion that they were running. So it's like, really? You're giving me 15%, but then everyone else is getting 40? I mean, F off, Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah, jeez.
But
That's
I
a bit of
think
a crime.
if I had to wrap it up for you, I read a really interesting piece of research from Experian, and they are saying birthday emails on average generate 480% more transactions than standard promotional emails, 342% higher revenue than a typical email. They're probably the most effective touch point in the whole customer lifecycle that senders have got. So take advantage of them. I talked about all those programs I signed up for. It was great. The ones I did see, about 2/3 of all of the ones I gave a DOB didn't send me anything. If you're not going to use it, don't collect it.
Exactly. I think that's the rule of thumb with all data collection, right? You only collect it if you're going to use it. If you're not using it, it sounds like you're missing out big time on engagement, on revenue. That's huge.
100%. So we promised it was going to be short and sweet today. So we better start wrapping up.
We better start wrapping up. I can't wait for the next one. Can I just say, I can't wait to hear what other. I want to know before we go. Do you know your sign, your email birthday sign? You like an Aquarius?
No.
We'll come back with that the next time. That's a little teaser for the next one.
I was thinking, given what you and I were talking about before today, we're really going to be dishing the dirt next time out, aren't we?
Seriously, that was the nice one. I almost Canadian apologize. But for all of you listeners, be sure to tune in next time and hit subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And don't forget to visit senderscore.org for more resources to help you become a stronger sender.
That's awesome. See you, everyone.
Thank you.
Be sure to tune in next time and hit subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And don't forget to visit senderscore.com for loads more great resources to help you become a stronger sender.
To all you sleepless senders out there, thank you for joining us after hours and see you next time.